The Independent is reporting on a sad story coming out of the UK. They explain, a new bill will, if successful, ban huge swaths of sex acts from UK porn. The Digital Economy Bill looks to ban anything that wouldn't be allowed on a commercially available DVD, banning things including female ejaculation and the sight of menstrual blood from all pornographic videos. While there are no strict guidelines as to what acts and images can't be shown on commercial DVDs, adult film producers have found that they have had to cut almost all kinds of non-conventional videos from their films. Such restrictions include the 4-finger rule, which limits the number of digits that can be placed into any orifice while on video. The Digital Economy Bill has so far been almost entirely criticized for its age verification clauses, which require any porn website to check whether its users are over 18. That's likely to lead to a database of viewing habits being held by companies or by the government, which experts have warned could easily be hacked and exposed. Yeah, so my buddy had mentioned this to me. I didn't read the articles yet, but my buddy had sent me a text talking about this. And it didn't even occur to me that, oh yeah, hold on. In order for them to really verify, okay, nobody looking at this porn site is under the age of 18, you would need a database. You would need them to be able to track it. And if they track it, then they're tracking everybody's porn habits. And nobody wants that. Who wants that? Yeah, let me have the government look in on everything I'm looking at on my computer. No, that would be a police state beyond imagination. That's horrible. And by the way, I don't even agree with the idea that under 18... that number's got to be lowered to at least 16. Like, really? You're a 16-year-old guy and you're not looking at porn online? I mean, please, what percentage of 16-year-old boys are looking at porn online? I'm guessing way over 50%. Way over 50%. So, first of all, that number should be lowered. Second of all, that's an undue burden on the companies. There's no way they can verify it without having a giant database that tracks everybody's porn habits, which is obviously a greater evil. So, I mean, people's privacy would be gone. And then furthermore, dude, seriously? Like, that's how much you're going to regulate this stuff? Now, let me be clear. Some of that stuff is gross to me, too. Fucking, like, fisting and shit. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see fisting. I don't want to see your gaping butthole. It's gross. No interest. But just because I'm not into it doesn't mean other people aren't into it, and it doesn't mean that that's so horrific the government needs to stop it. Like, okay, you do realize as long as we're talking about consensual sex here, which we are, it's none of your goddamn business. I don't give a fuck how weird your kinks get, and there are some weird ones out there. But that's irrelevant. If it's consenting adults, it doesn't matter how gross or strange or out there the kink is. Be my guest, go right ahead. And then they're trying to regulate people's sex lives. No, you want to know how you regulate it? No rape, no forced sex. It's got to be consensual. Outside of that, I don't care. You do whatever the hell you want, even if I would vomit when I looked at it. But vomiting would be a weird response because the vomit would turn some people on because that's how weird some people get, but whatever. So if that's your thing, I don't want to shut down the fucking parts of the website that cater to that. So, and again, it's a weird thing to come out here and defend like gross perversions, but the point is not to defend the gross perversions, it's to defend the freedom that goes hand in hand with that. So as long as it's consensual, it shouldn't fucking matter, but they're trying to get too much involved. Like female ejaculation, that's not even like, you can find shit like that on totally mainstream porn sites. And that's the other thing is like, so they could start out with the most extreme things like, well, we got to get rid of that. And then eventually you get more, you go less extreme, and then where does it end? Like, well, I mean, come on, we got to ban anal, right? It's unsanitary. No more anal porn. Nobody could watch anal porn because that's really unsanitary. And if you're doing it without a condom, it's possible for disease to spread. And like, there are all these arguments you can make, but those arguments are bullshit at the end of the day because it's about the freedom to engage in those things. As long as these people are doing it consensually, to regulate it, I mean, you want to talk about government that's far too big. And by the way, I don't even know who's behind this. Is it the conservatives who are behind it? Is it the liberals who are behind it? I don't give a fuck who's behind it. I'm against it either way. Because the liberals can make the argument of like, oh, this is exploitation of women, which is horrible, so we have to stop it and do it by law. And the conservatives can make it, oh, family values, we don't want our kids looking at this, blah, blah, blah. Like, there might be a meeting of the minds on the right and the left. To be clear, I don't know who's proposing this and who's supporting this and whatnot. But, the people who are correct about it would be civil libertarians, social libertarians, people who are like, you do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody. In fact, on stuff like this, I think it's crazy to not be in that camp. Because how long until they come for, the thing that you like? Even if it's not in the realm of sex. Even if it's like in Saudi Arabia, they ban chess. Because the fucking Grand Mufti, which is hilarious every time I say it, Mufti, he's like, it's a waste of time. What does that mean? He doesn't like it, so he's like, I'm going to ban it for everybody. Well, that's stupid. That's idiotic. Why? That doesn't matter. Nobody cares if you like it or don't like it, and they shouldn't care. Maybe some people do, but most people, you're just taking away their freedom. They banned Pokemon, too. This is the same kind of thinking. I know that's a stretch because it's like, okay, some really extreme porn stuff. But again, as long as it's consensual, where's the line? Once you agree, well, there is a line somewhere where we just regulate based off of opinion and what we think is wholesome and not, well, then that line can move, and it's up to anybody's interpretation. My take on it is, it's irrelevant what your opinion is. It's irrelevant what your subjective take on it is. The only thing that's not okay is if it's non-consensual, because then there's a crime being committed, and it's not about free will, and it's not about somebody's individual rights. You're taking away the rights of somebody else. That's the only place where you draw a line.